Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be a little bit of eye-opener and potentially a warning to some of you. And this is specifically aims at the people who like to go to the supermarket, do their weekly shop, and at the same time you might like to pick up a pack of grapes or an apple and snack on it whilst you do shopping. To be fair, this is actually quite an often occurrence. I quite often see people picking up and opening fruits, having a bit of nibble whilst they're doing their shop, and they think it's absolutely okay. But right guys, hear me. You might have remembered me doing a video, if you follow the channel, probably a couple of months back, and we actually talked about the chemicals and things that cover in our fruits and vegetables. We did cover a little bit of the Bill Gates appeal as well, but we mainly talked about the two pesticides, one insecticide and wax coating that normally you will see on the label of your orange or satsuma. And to be fair, all of those been proven after research to have some sort of detrimental effect on your health. Of course, only if consumed in a huge quantities. Whether they actually, in fact, on the oranges and lemons, they are in a small quantities according to a government legislations and all the tests, apparently it is okay for you to use. Well, now guys, the plot thickens, and there is a couple of articles came out recently now actually saying that they found out up to 48 forbidden pesticides on the fruits, vegetables, and some other things like grains, and actually things like cereals and bread. They've actually been imported from different countries. And this is, guys, comparing to only 19 pesticides allowed to be used by UK farmers. And the worst case is as well, guys, those 48 pesticides are actually proven to be really detrimental to people's health. And this is why they're not allowed to be used in this country. And at the same time, they're also not great for the bees as well. So we can look at it in a couple of ways. And to be fair, I'm not really surprised, guys, hearing that. It often happens, okay? They tell us something that is A-okay, and then later on it comes out, well, actually, they found out that it wasn't okay for the next few years. And over the time, guys, I've really given you probably quite a few examples, things that happen like that. It pretty much happens on a fairly regular basis. So we can now look at it in a couple of ways. And I think if you're following sort of support the farmers, this is probably one of those you understand where it's trying to get to. Our farmers in the UK only allowed to use 19 pesticides, okay? And in the different countries where they have a less of a control, they are allowed to use more pesticides, and clearly they're not very well regulated. So that puts our farmers in a really poor position. We already know, guys, they're struggling to get through with all the stuff that is going on with the government. So if you're actually thinking about it, okay, it is hard, I understand, for some farmers to produce food without using pesticides. But if farmers from different countries are allowed to use pesticides that are really detrimental to our health, but they're able to produce more of that and cheaper and then import them here, then what do you think is going to do to our farmers? The whole idea, right, because it comes from a different countries, the legislations and regulations of the different countries are totally different to regulations and legislations in UK. At the same time, when the stuff gets imported through, apparently there's very little control or actually ability to find out what is actually on our fruits and vegetables. Of course, guys, when those things end up sitting on our shelves, we're none the wiser that we're consuming something that can have up to 48 pesticides. And this is, guys, absolutely scary. I suggest you to have a watch the video I did about the initial, and if you just look, we actually looked then at only 2 things or 3 things that were on that, and the health benefits were, well, health benefits actually, those things were pretty detrimental to your health. So if you imagine now combining another 48, this is not on one product, okay, this is combined between all the other fruits and vegetables. If you eat mixture of fruits and vegetables and then you consume extra 48 different pesticides, that can't be good, can it? So another thing, guys, and we mentioned this before, when they say with the coatings, okay, so you can have a 1 pesticide or 2 pesticides, and in the small quantities they claim it is a-okay. However, okay, they're now talking about the combination of pesticides. So, for example, their grapes coming from Lebanon have approximately 13 different chemicals and pesticides. So beans from Thailand have 12, and the pears from Turkey have 10. Just think about it. This is like 13, 12, 10 individual things that are on our fruits and vegetables. The whole thing, again, guys, coming back to the previous video, when we discussed this, okay, the combination of those pesticides could be far worse from us than just having 1 or 2. And this is what the research has proven. They say because they're all different compounds, they're different chemicals. And when you suddenly have this chemical mixture on just one fruit and vegetables, it's honestly really not good. So they tested many things. They tested like 1,400 products, things like the citrus, like for example, we're talking about the clementines and satsumas. 96% of those fruit found to have at least 9 pesticides. And unfortunately, the number one on the list of the most contaminated fruit was actually grapes, with 87% tested with 13 or more pesticides. So this is, again, guys, I'm saying to the people that if you are one of those people that like to go shopping and then nibble on little grapes, I strongly suggest that you probably don't. So when we're talking about actually the washing the produce, obviously it is very important, but okay, funnily enough, as a research came out again, that's saying that just washing produce alone doesn't actually get rid of a lot of pesticides or chemicals, and it's the best to actually peel food. Again, it's not, of course, possible with everything, but guys, again, I've done this video and I did a test on a lemon, okay, when we're taking unwaxed lemon, and I soaked it, okay, with food coloring to see how much of the food coloring actually going to penetrate through to the lemon, through the skin into the flesh. Well, it wasn't a huge amount visually to what we can see, but it was proven, guys, that those the water and the coloring actually penetrated through the skin. So just as a research and the other article suggesting that just washing your fruits and vegetables is no longer effective because of what they're using. Although, as I said, it's not, of course, possible to do this or peel every single fruit and vegetables, but I think it's very important, guys, for us to consider, okay, and start doing this if you haven't already. Again, there are many ways, guys, of washing your produce, okay, and I've showed you guys before. You have like a food detoxifiers. The many different companies now do this, and they claim that if you obviously submerge your fruit and vegetables in the bowl of water, add on a little bit of salt or bicarbonate of soda for the best results. Run the machine, obviously cleanse your food of pesticides, or at least the majority as, rinse your produce, and it will be better, well, safer to consume. At the same time, again, we also cover things like scrubbing this with bicarbonate of soda, soaking it. You can use a sponge just to make sure you're trying to get rid of as much of these nasties as possible. What really bothers me, guys, and you probably already know if you follow me and obviously you follow the channel, how bad our food supply chain is and how bad the quality of food is. Again, we're trying to promote, okay, everybody, well, we are as a population trying to get the British farming back on track, because we really don't want to have all of the stuff imported, millions of miles with, tons of packaging, and then on top of this now, 48 extra pesticides. So the suggestion is, guys, right, there's no really easy way out of that, okay? First of all, learn, okay, how to wash your fruits properly. Invest in one of those machines. As I said, there are different brands there on the market to fit different kind of budget. And certainly stop snacking on your unwashed grapes or apples, whatever is loose that you can have in the supermarket. So what really worries me, guys, is when it comes to another few years' time, okay, and they continue allowing all those foods coming in with all, 48 pesticides there without actually trying to properly regulate that, and then they'll come up later and say, do you know what, we found out that after consuming all this for like 5 years or so, they found increase in certain things like cancers, which they're already proven that some of those pesticides that are used in there already causing cancers. Where does it leave us as a population is the only thing we can do, guys, is clean and trying to promote the local farmers and trying to promote organic growing, or trying to eliminate as much as pesticides as possible from our diet. If you have an ability, guys, to grow something yourself, if you have a garden, then certainly give it a go. I totally understand not everybody have a garden, not everybody even has a balcony, but if you do, then this is a good option. Otherwise, guys, yes, just to make sure you do wash your fruits and vegetables, and obviously watch the space, because I think that is only going to get worse. So anyway, guys, we'll hopefully find this video somewhat informative. Please don't forget thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, and I shall see you in the next video. Bye bye.